This is probably one of the most alarming videos that I've done, but it's very important. Some of you are going to unfollow me after this. Some of you are going to call me names. Sick, stupid, dirty, nasty, trifling. You may even call me a bitch, right? I get it. But it's something we need to talk about. We'll get into the science of the sexual demons. Y'all talk about the Incubus and Succubus. We'll get into the science of what happened to me. Mom, I'm talking to you, Mom. Yes, I'm talking to you, Dad. But I'm also talking to your son. If you want to talk to your daughters about this, I think you should. But I'm talking to you all about your son because I was somebody's son at one time. And this sex demons, the sexual addiction, right? Incubus, succubus, whatever. The science behind it started for me, of course, with my female cousins molesting me, my babysitter taking my virginity at 8, I had an uncle touch me, right? Addicted to porn, all of that. I had my first prostitute at age 15. Everything that happened to me as a child, from family members, from people that were supposed to take care of me, watch me, started me on this journey of dysfunction, of sexual desires for women, a deep lust for women, a desire, greed. And it went into my adulthood. My first prostitute at 15, first time I had gonorrhea, only time I had gonorrhea was age 16. So how was I supposed to move on in life and have a healthy relationship with women? It wasn't going to happen. I saw women as sexual objects and toys only. And I could blame my cousins, my babysitter, right? And so I started looking at women. It's like I wanted to hurt them. I wanted to get them back. But the sexual addiction overrode my anger towards them. But I still had anger issues. Here's a cold-blooded twist to this. Having my first prostitute at age 15, I didn't fear driving up on a prostitute. I didn't fear talking to a prostitute at 15 years old. I stole my father's car every Friday. I was in the 10th grade. Every Friday to go downtown and meet this woman. I was 15. She was 28. The cold-blooded twist is I didn't have any fears of buying a prostitute. The other cold-blooded twist, I didn't have any fears of getting gonorrhea again. Get 2 shots in my butt, 1 butt cheek, other butt cheek, 10 pills, drink my water, 10 days, I'm good. It took the fear of me away from me having fears of prostitution and catching we call it back then, venereal disease. STD is what they call it now. So I didn't have any fears. Because of my cousins molesting me and my babysitter taking my virginity and my uncle touching me, they took the fears of me having sexual intercourse at such a young age, and I was very risky. I didn't have fears of getting caught cheating. I didn't have fears of having 4, 5, or 6 different women. Incubus, succubus, whatever you want to call it. This is the science behind being touched at an early age. This is the science behind being molested at an early age. We always talk about molestation and being raped and all of that stuff. People taking advantage of us, but we don't talk about what happens, the science behind it, psychological effects that it had on me. So not only do I want 2 women like my cousins, I want 3 or 4 women, because the intensity got worse and worse and worse. The desire, the need, the greed got worse and worse and worse because of what my cousins, my babysitter, my uncle did to me. This is the science behind it all. I'm looking at my notes, right? And then the fears that went away from me. I used to steal my daddy's car every Friday. He worked the 3rd shift to 4. I was 15 years old. So the desire for me to have sex with this woman, this older woman, overrode the fear of my father catching me with his car when he came home the next morning. The fear, the desire of me having the desire and the lust I had for this older woman, this older prostitute, took away the fear of me getting caught by the police driving at 15 years old without license. I worked for a lady named Miss Maddie. She had after I was joining Cleveland. Everybody used to come, to celebrities, Temptations, OJs, Muhammad Ali, the Spinks brothers. I was 15 and I worked for her. She paid me $40 a night after the parties. I walked to her house. She lived two doors down. Older women I was always attracted to older women. And older women would always flirt with me, even at 15 years old, 16, 17 years old. I was short, but I was thick. I had a different build. I used to walk up to her house, ready to clean. She would come out to her door, didn't have on a bra, had on a see-through dress and no panties, and snorted cocaine. What's up, young man? How can I help you? You want to work You want to work today? Yes, Miss Maddie. And I would look at her. I would look her up and down. I would undress her. I was sexually attracted to older women for a very long time because of my cousins, because of my babysitter. The women that touched me, the women that molested me were always older than me. So you can call it incubus, succubus, demonic, sexual demonic spirits, whatever. The women that touched me caused me to want older women when I got older. So women my age couldn't do anything to me. They couldn't tame me. They couldn't handle me. So I always had that lust, that greed, that desire to be with women, more than 1, 2, 3, 4 women. And so let's tie that into my cheating. The women I had were great women. I had sexual demons ingested into me as a child. This is what I'm trying to tell you all. Some of you are not going to like this video, going to unfollow me. That's fine. But I'm talking to your sons who's going to be affected by the women and people touching them at an early age, and they won't tell you. I didn't tell anybody this until I was 46 years old in therapy. Let's talk about the science behind this. Another thing, being sexually molested, being raped, having your virginity taken at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you're going to see that next person, those people that you are attracted to, as a sexual object only. It's not about love. It's not about affection. It's not about holding hands. It's not about cuddling. This is what happened to me. It's not about being sensual. It is in that moment, but after that, you don't want that person anymore because you got what you wanted from them, and it was all sexual. This is a demonic spirit too. This is all narcissistic. Once that happens to you, they say narcissistic people, things happen to them in their childhood, the abuse, the neglect, right? Abuse and neglect and the trauma. You get into a relationship, and all the women I dated, I slept with, and I'm not proud of it, it was a lot, but I couldn't love them. I could only like them. I could only like them sexually. The last cold-blooded twist. Have you noticed that when you're sleeping with your narcissistic boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife, fiance, when a narcissistic person orgasms, when it comes out of their body, so does their feelings. This is the science behind this. We talk about it all the time, but we don't get into the science. As soon as I orgasm with any woman, turn my back. I didn't want anything to do with her anymore. I'm sorry, that's who I was. So if you're narcissistic, get therapy, get help. Talk about your sexual addiction. Talk about being molested. Talk about having your virginity taken at 7, 8, 19 years old. Talk about it so you can express it, so you can fix it, and you don't abuse other people, or you don't disregard other people, or you don't see women as sexual objects and toys only. Please get your therapy. I don't want anybody to wind up like I was. I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm much better. But it's a hard, long road, and I had to fight it. Thank you all for listening.